Hi, Nikki from Therapy Real Estate. Today I wanted to share with you the 4 absolute must-dos on the morning before school starts for children with ASD. ASD is Autism Spectrum Disorder. And when my son was 3 years old, he was diagnosed with Aspergers Syndrome. I sent him to a brick and mortar school for early intervention and to get therapies. And the one thing I noticed that was amazing to me was every time he came from school, he was actually worse. He was more excitable, more reactive, less easy to calm down. And I just didn't understand what was going on. And I started to really dig into some studies to see what made sense. And I noticed one thing about ASD or ADD, ADHD. One of the largest components of catapulting or aggravating any of those symptoms are a bad diet and a toxic body. So when he was going to school, he would be eating stuff filled with preservatives and colors and ingredients you can't pronounce and chemicals, and it was really exacerbating the problem. So much so that there would be inflammation flare-ups. You could actually see it, see the inflammation, in the head region, and I just had to stop that. So I started homeschooling, or rather computer schooling with K-12, since he was 4 years old. With that, I can absolutely control his diet, and he would get no artificial anything, all organic food, no chemicals. And I started to see a really big change. And the great news about that is when he was about 9, I think he was about 9 years old, he's almost 13 now, so time is passing, they actually graduated him from an IEP, so special ed, to general ed, because they said, wow, he has improved so much and his learning has improved so much, and these symptoms of anything autism and Asperger's have come down so much that we literally cannot have him any longer on an IEP. He does not need it. Now, these are the things that I still do to make sure that inflammation is not flaring up, especially in his head region, and he can stay calm and focus in school and really take things in. Number 1, never start the morning with carbs. During a school day, carbs are not allowed. Morning starts with a clean protein, free-range eggs, good meat, organic meat, vegetables. And the reason is sugar exacerbates ADHD, autism, ADD. Sugar also is a food for toxins that are in the body, and these spectrums have toxins a lot in the body, which is what tends to cause, or if nothing else, exacerbates these problems. Number 2, a chocolate. My son is 13 now, well, he's almost 13, and he has gained the privilege of drinking coffee. I'm a coffee nut, I expected him to be a coffee nut too. So now 2 days a week, he can have coffee, and even in those 2 days, I might add some chaga mushrooms to it, but on the other days, he will have either tea chino with chaga mushrooms, or I will make a chaga mushroom latte. And it's very simple: chaga mushroom powder, hot water, manuka honey, and of course, froth, half and half. Not milk, we don't want the sugars, half and half. Another thing that's a must is vetiver. Vetiver is an essential oil, and it helps with cognition, helps you to think clearly, helps you to remember well, helps you to stay focused. Vetiver burning through the house or diffused in a diffuser or even rubbed on the temples does wonders for concentration. And finally, music. On the overhead speakers, since he was starting, since he was a small one, 3 and 4 years old, Mozart. So we would play classical music, Mozart by choice, and it would also help him to concentrate, help him to build new neurons while he was learning, help him to stay engaged in the school, and help his brain to develop as he's learning. So those are the must-dos while you're homeschooling. I know this time frame has a lot of people being thrown into the homeschooling regions and computer schools, and it actually might be a good thing, because now you can control your children's diet. You can make sure they're not eating any junk at all. You can control the environment. You can make sure they're not distracted, and you can do the things I said and other things just to make sure that their learning is at its best. Those are my tips. Try them out. Tell me if you have any tips. Write it down below. and let's keep our kids healthy and thriving and getting over any symptoms of ADHD, ADD, or ASD.